Are you serious? Has Assad been shot? Is Assad dead? Or is he on a boat headed toward Russia with his whole family going into exile? But something's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And definitely Isaiah 17:1, the burden of Damascus is truly on. Get a cup of coffee. Are you serious? Get a cup of coffee. Let me get us up to speed. We still have no word from the Obama administration. We have no word from the Pentagon, from the State Department. We have no word from Western media for the most part. We do not have any confirmation whether Assad was shot and is dead or not. Neither do we have any denials. I mean, we can't even get a denial, which leads you to believe something's going on. Now, the Drudge Report did post a link of the Le Point, which is a French news agency, explaining that Assad was shot and has died. And they left it on their site in French. They didn't translate it to English. They just played it very safe. Just in case it's true, they can say, hey, we reported it. We linked you to that French newspaper. So they're playing very safe. Drudge is playing it very safe. And that's okay. Now, before it is news, they reported unconfirmed reports that Assad was shot. All right? And matter of fact, they even said that he was shot by his bodyguard and that he was in the hospital clinging to life or death there at the Shammai hospital in Damascus, and that the entire roads around the entire hospital been shut down, guarded by armies. But it's unconfirmed. They tell you right here, unconfirmed. But they have information coming to them. They're not the only one. The New York Daily News also is reporting unconfirmed, but that Assad has been shot. Matter of fact, they even say that he's dead. But again, they're not positive, and it's an unconfirmed report. I want to thank Nasher of Jerusalem. I want to thank my wife Heidi. I want to thank Robin. I want to thank Stephen of Oklahoma for this information. Also, we have the Gateway Pundit. They're saying that breaking, Assad was shot by his bodyguard, yet in Damascus. He's in the hospital in Damascus. They're not saying he's dead, but they are saying he was shot. And they're not saying that it is unconfirmed. Instead, they actually show you a bio of Assad from Wikipedia, where it shows that Assad died on March the 24th, 2013. So Wikipedia, which this was entered by a IP address in Islamabad, Pakistan, that is confirming that Assad is dead. At least they are trying to. And then I have reports that this morning I just got from Israel News Agency. Israel News Agency is confirming that Assad is dead, that he was shot by his bodyguard. Matter of fact, it says Russian media sources. This is right out of Jerusalem. Russian media sources have confirmed that Syria's President Assad was shot by an Iranian bodyguard Saturday night. The lone assassin pumped several bullets at point-blank range into Assad, said the source. Assad was rushed to al-Shami hospital in Damascus in critical condition. He died on the operating table from heart failure resulting from massive blood loss. As Israeli security analysis believes the reports are accurate. In the last 24 hours, we have not... Have you seen Assad, they say? No. There's been no photographs, no video, no. Nor will you ever see any, as loyalists who are closest to Assad have been threatened that if any leaked photos or reports reach Western media, Iran is attempting to take control of Syrian army and its wealth of weapons as Syrian soldiers are deserting in mass. Now, I had another report yesterday that told me that 13,000 Syrian soldiers are dead and 40,000 Syrian soldiers have deserted. It's falling apart, folks. It's falling apart. We do know also that President Barack Obama did not go to Israel for no reason, not for a photo op with Miss Israel. Instead, he was able to convince Benjamin Netanyahu to pick up the phone and call Turkey's Prime Minister Erdogan and apologize for the 2010 flotilla raid. What? You knew right. I knew right then there was something being planned. Something biblical's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Matter of fact, it's Isaiah 17:1 tells us, also Jeremiah 49, that the burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. It also tells you in Jeremiah 49 concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, confused, and Arpad, for they've heard evil tidings, and we're hearing those evil tidings now. They are faint-hearted. There's sorrow on the sea. Russia moved all their fleet of warships from the coast of Tartarus all the way to Beirut, Lebanon, deserting Syria. Waters. Damascus is waxing feeble. We know that's true. The city, there's chemical weapons that were released yesterday in Damascus by the Syrian army. Also, Damascus is waxing feeble. It turneth herself to flee. Fear is seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. How is the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? I'm reading from Jeremiah 49, 23 through 27. Therefore her young men shall fall in her streets. We know this is true. All the men of war shall be cut off. They're deserting. They're dying. They're leaving. Something biblical's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And thus all the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord of hosts. And I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it shall consume the palaces of Ben-Hadad. Now those are biblical prophecies by two ancient prophets, Isaiah and Jeremiah. But wait, there's more information. John F. Kerry, the Secretary of the United States of America, he went to Iraq yesterday for 3 hours just prior to this rumors beginning to surface of an assassination of Assad. And John Kerry told the Iraqi leader Maliki, you better shut down the airspace. There better not be another Iranian plane to fly over your airspace to Syria, bringing arms to Syria. Maliki said, we've been inspecting, but they've only checked 2 planes since July of last year, 2012. Something's going on in the Middle East. And why did Benjamin Netanyahu apologize to Turkey? Why did Obama show up in Israel in the first place and basically say, you've crossed the line, game changer? What's going on, folks? And the Israeli Defense Forces, they're just turning their attention now to Lebanon, because as far as they're concerned, the Syrian army is falling apart. And so the IDF is turning their attention to Hezbollah over there in Lebanon for fear they're going to get their hands on the chemical weapons. Now, none of this is confirmed. We don't know if Assad is dead. We know this: Israel fired a guided missile into Syria. Syria had shot at a patrol vehicle in across the Golan Heights, hit an Israeli vehicle. Israel fired a guided missile into a military post in Syria. We know that 40,000 Syrian army soldiers have deserted. We know there's 13,000 Syrian soldiers dead. We know that Syria's army has used chemical weapons on the people in Damascus twice in the last 3 days. We know that John F. Kerry went to Iraq. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu apologized to Turkey. We know that President Obama spent 3 days in the Middle East. We know the beast wouldn't run. The tree may be corrupted. Rockets flew out of Hamas, and the sandstorms grounded the president's helicopter. We know all of those things are going on. We don't know. We can't confirm yet. We don't know. It may not even be true. Assad may not be dead. He may be leaving, going into exile. Or let's just stay with us. We're going to try to get our hands around it. God bless you in Jesus' name.